You are listening to Sage Ideas. Welcome to another episode of Sage Ideas. So today, I want to really explain something that has been a very popular concept, and I think it's just good to deep dive, a little bit about it. And if you follow me on social media, if you've gone to my Instagram handle, you see a short video clip about hurting people hurt others. And this episode, I'm dedicating it to really go deeper in terms of just explaining in a lot more detail. What does this really mean? How do you identify when you are trauma bonding? And what can you do to move past that? All right, let's get right to it, shall we? But before we go on, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share your comments. We are always looking forward to hearing from you. Tell us what we're doing better, what you think we can do a lot more better, and if there's a topic that you would really like me to talk about on this podcast, please leave me a message, reach out to me on any of the social media handles, drop a comment. I would really love to hear from you. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Now, if the concept of give and receive holds true, it therefore means that you can only give what you have, right? Let's say, for example, someone comes and asks you for $1,000 or $500. If you don't have $500 and you don't have a network that can raise $500 for you, right? No matter how much you desire to help this person with $500, you cannot give them $500. Now, let's bring that back home. When you meet a person and you can identify or understand what they have been through, because you either have gone through the same experiences, you've had the same pain, you can identify with them, there is a level of understanding that you have about what they've gone through. They are saying certain things, you're finishing up their sentences, you have similar experiences. That is identification. You can identify with what they've been through. Now, and that's what happens most times when people who are yet to deal with trauma essentially meet with other people who have similar traumatic experiences that they have. Oh, I was abandoned by my father. Oh, I too was abandoned by my father. Oh, I was abandoned by my mother. Oh, I too was abandoned by my uncle. I was abused. I can understand what it means and all of that, right? However, someone who have gone through traumatic experience does not completely know how to love someone else, because, and I'm using a traumatic experience now that has to do with a dent on your emotional security, right? And that's the context of what I'm talking about now, right? They don't understand how to love someone the way they should be loved, and not how they know to love. I hope you got that. They don't know how to love someone how that person should be loved. Rather, they know how to love someone the way they have learned how to love. So, what someone who have gone through a traumatic experience that has put a dent on their emotional well-being needs is someone who does not just identify with what they have gone through, and in very interesting cases may not have even gone through the same thing, may not be able to identify with what they've gone through, but that person knows how to love that person who's gone through that traumatic experience the way they should be loved. Let me give you an example. One of the symptoms of trauma is that you have triggers, right? And triggers are events, words, places that when you come in contact with those things, it elicits an emotion, brings back a memory, or just it's an automatic response to a situation, right? Now, someone who has gone through trauma does not always understand that they have an automatic response to these triggers. So you can just say something in good faith and then they respond in a way you did not expect, and you're like, but I didn't mean it that way. No, it's not about you, it's about the trigger that what you have said, done, or the place you've taken them to is bringing up. So what this person needs is someone who understands the concept of triggers and can help manage them on their journey to recovery when these triggers begin to manifest. What usually would happen is that when someone who is yet to heal completely enters into a relationship with someone who is also yet to heal completely, they are both always unconsciously and unintentionally pushing each other's triggers and wondering, what the hell is going on? I just said that. Why are you so angry? Why are you acting this way? Trigger responses. So that is how to identify trauma bonding. What is recommended in terms of going into a relationship? Now the question is, for you who have gone through a traumatic experience, what should you do? The first thing is to accept that you need help. And the only way to get help is first to identify and accept that this is a hotspot for you. Then you can begin your journey to recovery. So, if you have unexplained behaviors, unexplained automatic responses to certain situations, and you have received feedback about these areas of your life, it's time to seek help from a therapist. What a trained and qualified therapist can help you do is to identify the source of that trigger and replace the interpretation that has been hardwired into your brain as it relates to that trigger. And it's not as easy as I've just mentioned it. I've been able to summarize this because of my profession as a therapist, but it requires the intervention of a trained professional. Because if you continue in the relationship as someone who is yet to heal, even if you are in a relationship with someone who is whole and well, the chances that that person will get overwhelmed, exhausted, and tired with having to manage your triggers, your responses, your behavioral patterns is very, very, very slim. Because as a human being, they will get tired, and when they do, they may walk away just to preserve and protect themselves. And you can't blame them, really, can you? Think about it. So now you know how to identify trauma bonding. The best recommendation for going into a relationship, and what to do as an individual who has gone through a traumatic event. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, follow. Hey, thank you for sticking around. And remember, you are right where you should start from. I'm rooting for you.